We're on proportional reasoning today and focused our work today on understanding ratio, rate, and most importantly for today's lesson, unit rate. Problem number 3 on tonight's homework says Adrian earned $75 for tutoring for 5 hours. So let's write that down, $75 for 5 hours, so $75 per 5 hours of tutoring. And that's a good example of a rate. We're comparing two units of unlike quantity, dollars compared to hours. And when you're doing proportional reasoning, it's often useful to include the units in your ratios, your rates, and your proportions. And we'll look at that more and more as the unit progresses. The first question is, what is his hourly rate? So this is his 5 hourly rate. This is how much he earned for 5 hours. We want to know how much would he earn for 1 hour. And so if you think of this as a proportion, you're dividing your denominator by 5. And if you're dividing your denominator by 5, you have to divide your numerator by 5. So that you're dividing your rate by 5/5, if you look at it this way. If you divide by 5/5, you're really just dividing by 1, because 5/5 is 1. And we know if we divide by 1, we don't change the original value. And so that's why this unit rate will be proportional or equivalent to the initial rate, $75 per 5 hours. 75 divided by 5 is 15. So it's $15 per 1 hour. And so when you're finding unit rate, if you just take your numerator and divide by you don't have to do all this. I'm just showing you why we divide the numerator by the denominator. But if you do 75 divided by 5, you get 15. So it's $15 per 1 hour. And when it says hourly, that's per hour. And the missing number there is 1. Per hour means per 1 hour. And so the hourly rate is, I'll just make my answer clear here. Hourly rate equals $15 per 1 hour.
Paused.
How much would he expect to earn if he tutored 12 hours? One of the nice things about knowing the unit rate, if you know it's $15 per 1 hour, you can scale up from that. And for example, for 12 hours, we just multiply by 12/12. Because if I multiply the 1 hour by 12, I get 12 hours. And the $15 multiplied by 12 is $180. So that's $180 for 12 hours. First of all, I didn't set up an X and Y axis for you. We only need the first quadrant because all of our values, hours and dollars, are all going to be positive. So you just set up a little first quadrant X and Y axis. Your independent variable is the number of hours. And the reason hours is the independent variable is the amount of money depends on how many hours he works. So the dependent variable is the amount of money earned. It depends on how many hours Adrian tutored. And so you're given a little guideline here. Plot the data point 575 because that was given to us in 5 hours. He earned $75. We have to think about the scale of this axis. We know we're going to go all the way up to $180, so depending on how you set yours up. But on mine I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 lines to work with. And I have $180. I think I'm just gonna make you know what though, come to think of it, since the unit rate is 15, I might as well just make each one 15. I know I'm going up in increments of 15, so 15, 30, 12 times 15, we already know is going to be 180, so my entire scale will fit perfectly if I do that. Here's the one I need right now, $75 for 5 hours. That's one data point. We know for 1 hour, the missing data here is 1 hour would be $15. So I also have 115. 12 hours we calculated would be $180. And that's going to be all the way up here. 90, 105, 120, 135, 150, 165, 180. So 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I'll show every 5, so that's 10. And then 12 is the one we want. $180 is up here. There's one other data point that I think would be important to plot here, and we'll discuss this more as the unit progresses, but how much money would Adrian earn tutoring for 0 hours? If he tutored 0 hours, how much money would he earn? Clearly 0. So the origin is also a data point, and that's going to be extremely important. We'll talk about the significance of that more as the unit progresses. But this is a linear graph. All proportional relationships will be graphed as straight lines, and they'll pass through the origin. So I want you to get a little preview of that with this one problem. Thank you for watching the video. I'll see you tomorrow.